A very good morning to all of you and welcome to the session, the Hindu editorial analysis for proficiency in English. As usual, let us start with the snippets. The very first one, Taliban welcomes Indian embassy will help regional peace. Indian embassy will help regional peace. They've got a special status in the sense initially the mission, now it is an embassy. Based on that, it is going to help. There's one important word, help. Tell me what type of verb is it? Help is a causative verb. Causative verbs help, make, let, get, have. These are very important. What is the reason? Causative verbs do not take the preposition to in active voice, but they do take in passive voice. If you work hard, it will help you to achieve success. Wrong. If you work hard, it will help you achieve success. To should not be used. We were made to wait for 2 hours. This is passive voice. Nothing wrong with this. This you have to recollect. Very important. They've given many a time. Coming to the next one, AI powered browser unveiled. There's one important word, unveil. We have got many a time. What does it mean? To make public. And you have to recollect the words like divulge, disclose, reveal, unveil. They all mean the same. It means what? To make public. Open AI pits. Pits here means to place against something. Pits Atlas against Google Chrome. Open AI pits means places Atlas against Google Chrome. As a competitor, as a rival, important word because pit has many meanings. Pit, a small hole in the ground, we say pit. But here pit has a different meaning altogether. There pit is a noun, here pit is a verb. Coming to the next one, today is the front page of the Hindu paper. A lot is there to learn, so many news items, and so much is there to learn. Trustees re-election. Venu's email fuels drama at Tata Trust. Fuels. In this context, it means causes. What does it mean? Cause. Create. Creates drama at Tata Trusts. Something to do with hierarchy, position, hegemony, all these. Being at the helm. What is the meaning of to be at the helm? Means to be at the top. Hegemony means the power to control. Important words you have to know. Coming to the next one, shift in focus, immigration and the politics of fear. Two important words, though we have got many a time. Now, legal migration too gets a bad rep. Illegal migration not acceptable. If someone questions legal migration also, then it is not acceptable. And the moment you see the word immigrate, you have to recollect words like migrate. Large number of people migrate, exodus, and they are known as refugees. They seek political shelter. For that, we say political asylum. And you have to think of words like going out of the country, emigrate, coming into the country, immigrate. And these people, when once they settle over there, diaspora. And if they have to face some sort of prejudice or bias, we use the word persecution. Our students know all these words. And fear, what is the other word for fear? Phobia. Fear means what? Phobia. Hydrophobia means what? Fear of water. Now, across the world, and that's what I've just said, going out of the country, emigrate, coming into the country, immigration. And if you look at this one, fear, phobia, today across the world, many countries, people of different countries, they have one particular phobia. What is that one? How many of you know the meaning of this? What is the meaning of xenophobia? Try to answer. Hydrophobia, fear of water. What is the meaning of xenophobia? It's a new phenomenon being experienced across the world, especially the Western countries. No one has answered. Xenophobia means what? What is the meaning of that? I'm asking. Very good. Naidu Paidi after a long time. Fear of foreigners. Some people fear foreigners. We use the word xenophobia. Important word. Coming to the last one, all to play for. You can see women cricket. India, New Zealand in a crucial contest. Crucial, important, vital. You should also recollect the word alien, foreigners. But alien also means from space, extraterrestrial, ET. Coming to the main headline, Modi Trump speak. US India versions vary. Vary means differ. US says something, India says something else. That means they don't tally with each other. They vary, means they differ. Modi Trump speak, US India versions vary. This has been going on for quite some time. The US says something, India says something else. US President extends Deepavali greetings to Modi ahead of a possible meeting in Malaysia. President Trump says PM Modi has conveyed India's decision to stop purchasing Russian oil. Trump says call focused on trade deal, oil and Pakistan. India denies Pakistan was discussed. There is a conflict. There is a variation. Coming to the next snippet, Israel must ease passage of aid into Gaza. There's one important word, ease. Ease has many meanings. One meaning, ease off, reduce the intensity. Ease means comfort. He speaks with a lot of ease, means what? With a lot of comfort. He played with a lot of ease. And ease means here, Israel must ease passage of aid into Gaza. Means they have to provide a condition where they can supply or provide aid to people over there. And here we have must. Our students know the two functions of must. First one, it is used to express a personal obligation or an obligation imposed by the writer or the speaker. And must also means something that is compulsory. Both the functions you have to recollect. 3D sensors will detect potholes on NHAI roads. It's a good thing. I'm sure many of you know will detect future tense. I'm sure many of you know the meaning of the word potholes. In the middle of the road, there's a hole. What do you call it? Pothole. And usually in our country, many countries for that matter, roads, we come across potholes. During rainy season, what happens? These potholes get filled with water. They become bigger in size. Then we use the word puddle. Puddles. Without water, we use the word pothole. With water, we use puddle. This word also you have to know. Coming to the next one, I have given many a time this one. Important. Fugitive Choksi denied reprieve by Belgian court. Two important words. Fugitive. Someone commits crime in a particular country, escapes to another country. What is the word we use? Fugitive. Reprieve means something like postponing punishment or stopping punishment, respite, stopping for the time being. Notices to 3 states for attacks on journalists. It seems in 3 states journalists were attacked based on that notices. Pardon, yes, very good. Aspirant, reprieve, pardon. Coming to the next one, you can see the President of India, President's pilgrimage. One important word. I always tell students never absconding. Yes, very good, Chandini. Fugitive, absconding. And you have to Don't learn words in isolation. You have to learn with a holistic approach. Pilgrim, pilgrimage. When someone visits holy places, perhaps 1 week or 10 days, then we use the word pilgrimage. And the person is called pilgrim. Here, President's pilgrimage. Where has she gone? Prayer stop. President Draupadi Murmu carries the Irumudi sacred bundle as she prays at the Lord Ayappa temple at Sabarimala in Kerala on Wednesday. She is the second Indian president and first woman head of the state to visit the hill shrine. Shrine, like a temple, holy place. Coming to the next one, Union government proposes mandatory labeling. What is the meaning of mandatory? Mandatory means compulsory, mandate, mandatory. And when you come across a word like pilgrim, pilgrimage, you have to recollect all the related words. You have to take the theme, religion, and create a word map like theology, study of religion, theist, atheist, agnostic, and sacred, holy, pilgrim, pilgrimage, devotion, devotee. On the negative side, black magic, sorcery, witchcraft. All the words should be at your fingertips. Union government proposes mandatory labeling of synthetic AI generated content on social media. Content on social media. Synthetic means artificial. What is the opposite word? Natural. Natural fabric, synthetic fabric means artificial, not natural. Coming to the other snippets, this side we have Kerala state to be first state free of extreme poverty. Kerala state to be first state free of extreme poverty. Poverty, penury, destitution, extremely poor. What are the words you have to know? Exam point of view. Penury, poverty, destitution. All these you have to know. That is good. Kerala has also the distinction of first state to be 100% literate and now 100% free of extreme poverty. Coming to the other headlines we have here, EC reviews progress in mapping electors, simple words, deadly standoff. What is the meaning of standoff? Something like a deadlock, no solution, dead end, deadlock, standoff, and all these you have to know. Ladakh delegates offered terms of Article 371 by government. Delegate has two different meanings. One meaning of delegate as a noun, here noun. Those who attend a meeting or a seminar or a conference, we use the word delegates. But delegate as a verb to assign the work. Imagine there's a manager, he cannot do all the works, then he will delegate some of the works to his subordinates. A good manager is one who knows how to delegate work. Important word. That's all from the front page. Let us go to today's editorial. What is this editorial about? Very important. Solar energy. Today we all talk about climate change, a rise in temperatures, greenhouse gases, and greenhouse effect, all these. One of the reasons, use of fossil fuels. Fossil fuels, also known as conventional sources of energy or non-renewable sources of energy. What are the opposite words? Non-conventional sources of energy or renewable sources of energy. And what comes under, what are the energy sources that come under renewable sources of energy? Wind energy, solar energy, hydro, all these come under renewable sources, eco-friendly, exactly. But coming to today's editorial, why is it important? Tapping the shine, shine, sunshine. You all know the expression, the sun is shining, sunshine. I don't see the sunshine. Here, tapping the shine means tapping the sun. That means solar energy. What is the main idea? India must step in as a supplier of solar power to sustain its industry. Here, step in means to enter as a player, as a supplier. India must, personal obligation by the writer, step in as a supplier of solar power to sustain its industry. Sustain has two different meanings. One, very good, aspirant. One meaning to maintain. What is the other meaning? Sustainable goals, sustainable practices, using the resources wisely, thinking of the future generations. How does it start? The very first word, someone has responded, very good. The moment you see this, you have to recollect among, amongst. Many students know the difference between and among. When we talk about two persons or two things, we use the word between, more than two, among. But only a few know the difference between among and amongst. What is the difference? Amongst is a formal word, goes with written English, one difference. Another difference, if the word after the preposition begins with a vowel letter or a vowel sound, then we have to use the word amongst. Among the successes that India can take reasonable credit for is cultivating a domestic solar power industry. India has, usually we don't use the word success in the plural form, but here we have got the plural form. Among the successes, among the victories, among the triumphs, there you can use a plural form. Rarely we use the word success in the plural form. Nothing wrong as such, but not a regular usage word. Among the victories or the triumphs or the successes that India can take, reasonable credit means can take the pride to say we have got this. Reasonable credit for is cultivating what? A domestic solar power industry. India can take the credit. Credit for what? For cultivating a domestic solar power industry. Somewhere in 2017, the per unit cost of solar power fell below that of coal power. Here the writer presents us the progress. 2017, the cost of solar power fell below, an important word. Here it is a past form of fall. Fall, fell, fallen. But there's another fell. Fell, felled, felled. Aspirant, very sharp. Very good. Fell, felled means what? To cut down the trees. Cut down. Usually it goes with trees. They felled many trees in our colony last week. Wrong. They felled many trees in our colony last week. That is correct. Here, fall, fell, fallen. Fell below that of coal power. Spurring new interest means creating new interest. Spur, create, initiate. Spurring new interest among businesses, investing in ground-mounted solar projects. Ground-mounted, in the ground, mounting, placing. Roof-mounted, ground-mounted. Two different types. Here, ground-mounted solar projects. In 2024-25, the International Renewable Energy Agency reported that India generated 108,494 gigawatt hour of solar energy, surpassing. What is the meaning of surpass? Exceed, go beyond the limit. An important word you have to know. Surpassing Japan's 96,459 GWH and making it the third largest producer. The third largest, the first, the second, the third. Before ordinal numbers, we have to use a definite article, the. That you have to recollect. The third largest producer of solar power, behind only China and the US and the United States. Before names of some countries, we have to use a definite article, the. India's capacity to manufacture solar module panels rose from 2 gigawatt in 2014 to 100 gigawatt in 2025. Substantial improvement. What is the meaning of substantial? Substantial means considerable. Substantial improvement from 2 to 100. Phenomenal also you can say 100 gigawatt in 2025 according to the Ministry of Renewable Energy. This is significant. Significant means what? Important. This is important considering that India's domestically installed solar capacity is about 117 gigawatt as of September. Based on the capacity, it seems it is important. However, contrasting word, the actual manufacturing capacity is an optimistic projection and the effective production capacity currently is about 85 gigawatts. This passage, this editorial is easy to understand because editorial presents a lot of statistical data and not difficult to comprehend. Only a few words may trouble you. Coming to the second part, so far very easy to understand, one reading you should be able to. India has stated, India has stated that has stated is a reporting verb, it is in present perfect. Then, as a sharp learner, you have to recollect an important rule that goes with indirect speech. If the reporting verb is in present, present perfect, or future, the tenses don't change to a corresponding past tense. India has stated that as part of its climate commitments, it will. Imagine here the reporting verb is in past, then it changes to would. Here it does not change. It will source half of its power requirements in 2030 from non fossil fuel sources. That is a transition, very good, positive, and it is going to what is the percentage? It will source half of its power requirements in 2030. 5 years down the line, 50% we are going to get from renewable sources of energy. From non fossil fuel sources, means renewable sources of energy. That is about 500 gigawatt, of which 250 gigawatt, 280 gigawatt is expected to come from solar power. We have many sources of renewable energy. One solar, the other wind, third hydro. And here, what is the contribution of solar power? This sentence talks about that. This means that India needs to add about 30 gigawatt annually until 2030. It has to produce. However, there's a contrasting word. India has effectively been able to add only about 17 out of 30 was able to or has been able to. Able to is an important expression, exam point of view. Why is it important? A common error, people tend to say, a lot of people, those are good at English otherwise, we don't know why. I can able to do that. I can do that, I'm able to do that. We cannot use both in the same sentence. But a lot of people say can able to in the same sentence. That's a common error. They have given in different competitive exams as well. The point here, don't use can able to in the same sentence or could able to in the same sentence. I can do that, I could do that. I'm able to do that, I was able to do that. And there's a subtle difference between both could and was able to express past ability. And there's a subtle difference. What is a subtle difference? Able to talks about something past ability more difficult. He could walk half a kilometer with a fractured leg. They gave in one exam. Many students thought nothing wrong, but walking half a kilometer with a fractured leg more difficult. There we cannot use could. We have to say he was able to walk half a kilometer with a fractured leg. Has been able to, present perfect active voice, only about 17 gigawatt, 23 gigawatt annually in the recent past. While in theory, internal production should be sufficient internally, modules made in India are anywhere from 1.5 to 2 times more expensive than those from China. Here the cost factor comes into picture. Chinese products are cheap compared to Indian products. 1.5 to 2 times more expensive than those from China, Indian products, simply because of its much larger capacity, control of the necessary raw material, and far superior production lines. What are the reasons for Chinese products being not that expensive, less expensive than Indian products? Because of its much larger capacity, one, control of the necessary raw material, two, and far superior production lines, three. India, in its best performance, managed about 4 gigawatt of export of solar modules to the US in 2024, and that too due to America's temporary restrictions. Against the restrictions, it could export to the US. That is something appreciable. Compare that with China's annual export of around 236 gigawatt in 2024. India only 4 and China 236. No match at all. The difference is poles apart. You have to recollect superior to all these, you have to. Comparative adjectives. Coming to 4 gigawatt of export of solar modules to the US in 2024, and that too due to America's temporary restrictions. Compare that with China's annual export of around 236 gigawatt in 2024. Therefore, the large manufacturing capacity that will come online in India in the next few years will likely struggle without new markets. Immediately, they may not get, after some time, they may not get the new markets because already China is there. Then what are we supposed to do? Explore new markets. The next two sentences talk about that. In this context, India's overture means something like offering something in this context, mind you. To be a solar supplier to Africa, leveraging, an important word. What is the meaning of leverage? It has many meanings. One meaning, influence. Another meaning, to use something to the maximum advantage. Third meaning, to borrow money to make a company a better company. The flagship of the International Solar Alliance. There's one important word, flagship. Imagine a particular business conglomerate has many companies. One particular company makes a lot of business, the lion's share. Then they say this is our flagship company. Or a multifaceted company makes many products. One product fetches 80% of the revenue, the lion's share. Then the company says this is our flagship product. Important word, goes with business. Flagship of the International Solar Alliance is a good move. While India's PM Kusum scheme, solar power to rural India, and PM Surya Ghar scheme, rooftop solar in urban India, are yet to make substantial gains in terms of domestic adoption, they can serve as more models to be pitched in Africa, which, due to the lack of sufficient rural power, is able to tap only 4% of its arable land through irrigation, creating an opportunity for solar-powered India pump sets. A very lengthy sentence. What does it say in a nutshell? In India, if you go to urban areas, we have solar rooftops, urban India, and villages, what do we have? Solar power to rural India, there is a scheme, PM Kusum scheme, and another scheme, PM Surya Ghar scheme, rooftop solar in urban India, and yet to make substantial gains, means they haven't become popular in terms of domestic adoption. People are not willing to adopt rooftop solar panels, and takes time because something new, you can't expect immediate adoption. They can serve as models to be pitched in Africa. Means we can use those models in Africa, not in our country. What is the reason? Due to the lack of sufficient rural power, he is able to tap only 4% of its arable land. Arable means cultivable. I think someone has responded. Very good. Arable means cultivable. Opposite, barren. Did you mean that? Through irrigation, creating an opportunity for solar powered India pump sets. Though China still remains a dominant solar supplier in Africa too, India must be able to step in as a credible second player for a shot at the sustainability of its own industry. China has already made its presence not only to the US, exporting to the US, but also in Africa. Still, markets are always open. Markets are always open. India should not hesitate. India should try to become a second player, dominant second player. India must be able to step in as a credible second player, credible, dependable, believable, for a shot and try for a shot at the sustainability of its own industry. Then solar industry will survive in our country. A very useful passage, extremely useful in my opinion. Renewable sources of energy, very important. Any article that goes with renewable sources of energy or non-conventional sources of energy, very important. You have to read twice, thrice, learn the lexical terms, word combinations, improve contextual awareness. That will help in the long run. That's all for today. Have a nice day. Thank you very much.